Hey guys, welcome to the Conversations podcast. My name is Jessie.
And I'm Ryan.
Yay!
Guys, thank you for bringing us into our episode.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the best time to announce, or we announced it already, but to kind of like solidify, right? Like that you're like our female voice here. We needed a female voice for the longest time. It was just two dudes talking about what we think we know about life and love and everything else. And the fact that you're on board now, it's so excellent, dude. But yeah, Sung, I just want to mention Sung is away because his sister is getting married this weekend.
Woo!
So we want to give all the love to his family. And yeah, he's there making everybody laugh over there with the Sunglish word of the day or whatever, right? So, Jess, how are you, girl?
I am good. I am good. I'm like excited to do this.
Good. I don't know what it is. Des always jumps on everyone else's lap, not mine.
That's normal. Most dogs are like that. My dog doesn't always jump on my lap.
But he likes girls. He likes female energy.
Because he likes calm.
He's pretty chill.
He is.
So yeah, guys, Des is my dog. He's sitting, for our listeners, are sitting on Jessica's lap.
So if you see me petting my crotch, it's not my crotch.
Yeah, it's not
Des.
your crotch.
So just want to clarify.
But yeah, dude, thank you. So what's going on? How was your week?
It was nuts, like we talked last time, poop flying everywhere. And she said her first word.
What was her first word?
So Daniel's birthday was on the 10th. The 13th.
Daniel's not your daughter, right?
No.
Okay.
Presley's first word was dada.
Dada.
So she said dada on Daniel's birthday. It made me sad, but...
Because you put all the work in.
Yeah.
And dada gets the first word.
Because I've been like, mama.
Why do you think that is?
So I wrote him because he was at work, and then he's like, it doesn't count. And I was like, I was more offended that he said that.
Because he's not there.
Well, no. He said it didn't count because she's just blubbering. It's not like an intentional... Yeah. So when she was saying it, my sister came, and she was here. She heard it the first time, but she's like, I didn't want to like bring it up that, he said dada, or she said dada. And then I heard her. I was recording her, and then she said that she's using her mouth now. So she's like, da, da, da. But it's more like her just enunciating sound. And he was like, I don't accept that. And I got more upset. Oh, I was like, what the hell?
Ego motherfucker, dude.
You won't even take it? I was like,
already showing his Korean side as a dad. Like,
seriously.
Like, not even giving her.
He's like,
oh my God.
Yeah. But it was good.
Like, he didn't pronunciate
no, he was like, it wasn't intentionally for me. She wasn't saying like, I'm your dad.
Sure, I see that.
Yeah, and I understand that too. But I just thought it was funny because I was like, wow, she's so perfect that she's like giving him her first words, saying dada on his birthday, like all of that, And I was like, damn, she's
what an ungrateful motherfucker.
No, I was like, damn. I was just trying to get him some Gentle Monster sunglasses. You know what I mean? And she gave him like his first words. I was like,
when did this happen?
On the 10th,
okay.
So on Monday.
So that's a bit So
she's 9 months, so that's pretty.
That's early.
That's pretty early, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I guess.
She's walking already, right?
No. She's scaling.
What's
she's
scale?
like,
she's kind of like
she's just grabbing and she's like walking everywhere. So
and they do that weird bounce like dance.
Yeah, she shakes her booty.
It freaks people out when I actually had mastered that dance, that walk, the baby walk, when they first like run and walk.
Is that part of like a dance move?
No, it's not. It's just it's actually one of the moves that I used to use on girls. To like,
are you serious?
Yeah, and it worked.
Where did you use this move?
Like for example, like if we were like out, right, and we're at a club or something, right, and then she's like, yeah, come here, like, and I'd be like looking at her like,
shut
and
up.
then like running, but it's like that like that walk where it's like your legs are locked and you're stomping and then like it's almost unbalanced, like that's what it used to kill, man.
Cause it
killed until I met my wife, and she literally was like, please never do that again. She's like, I hate that with all my...
We're going to put a pin in that because we're going to talk about how things change once you get married.
For sure, yeah.
Like, that's so interesting. Like,
well, let me ask you, okay, so you've been married for now 7? Oh, no. You've been together for...
we're going on 8 years, and then we're going on our 3rd year marriage.
3rd year marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, so now being in your 3rd year, how is it, man?
Anyone,
other than a girl, like girls asking, has a guy asked you on camera?
No one's ever asked me on camera.
Yeah, nobody watches this, don't worry.
No. No, I mean, it's good. At the end of the day, it's a challenge because we have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like trying to make sure we always go back to each other and making sure we're always on the same page. Um, Before we had the baby, we took therapy. And I recommend therapy to everybody because it's so good to have third party perspective and someone who can give you tools to work together and like contextually understand.
Now, is this therapy separate, like
No,
individually
together.
or together?
Yeah,
so
together.
So it's like a couples therapy,
Yeah.
like
So
specifically couples.
they do their own therapy like as a company. So she was recommended because she already knew him through the business aspect, and then she shared that she does marriage and she does prenatal, postnatal. Okay. So that was very important because I just got pregnant. So we worked with Esther. She's so amazing. And I'll be honest with you, the first time we did the therapy session in my head, because it's like, it can be pretty expensive. And I don't not believe in therapy, but I also try to like balance out like what makes sense, what doesn't make sense on like, you know. And the first session, she did a mind blow for us because she broke it down of she started off with, you know, what are your first memories from like 7 to 12, and then from 12 to like, you know, 18, and then on. And then we both went and we shared. And what was so interesting was like how it humanized us, where, you know, you love someone so much and you have their back, but you get so caught up in the everyday, right? It's natural. And then I'm pregnant, I'm going through all this stuff, he's working, I had to stop working and like take it down like basically 95% of like my normal, you know, like lifestyle. And then I'm feeling all these feelings, he's feeling all these feelings. And then when she broke it down from like childhood of like 7 to 12 and like all these things, we started to realize like a lot of our trauma is very similar. It's very different, but very similar. Like in terms of like what the issue is of like abandonment or like fear and failure and like all of those things. And what she did is like at the end of the first session, and it's only an hour, so it's pretty impactful. She showed us like in a circle, like a Venn diagram of like how all these things built us to get to here, and like how similar we actually are in all of our trauma. And then after that, just one, and I was already doubting it, like, of course I believe in therapy, but like, what is one session gonna do? So I was like, damn, she got me, because I realized.
Did she get DVD?
Yeah, we both were like, oh, we at a young age, for me, it's like my parents were already shifting and like kind of not being interested in each other, and they wanted divorce. So that means that the kids started to lose the focal point of attention, right? So that was very important for me because, like, as a young kid, we had a lot of attention, and then it started to dissipate. And then I realized, like, I was talking about, like, when I was in Germany, I was, like, the head of the Chinese, it was, like, Chinese New Year, and, like, you know how they do the Chinese dancing, and then they have the line dancing? I was the head, and I, like, fought hard for that. I was, like, in second grade. And then nobody came. And then I walked home, and I just felt like so abandoned and like sad. And then he shared something similar, and I was like, damn, since we were little kids, we already felt like these kind of like displaced emotions, and that's what shaped us. So then after that, we started doing all this therapy sessions. Like we did like four or five more. And it really helped me having the pregnancy, going through the whole situation, and then after pregnancy, it allowed us to kind of like align each other and really have each other's backs. So yeah, it was kind of crazy too.
Might have to look into that.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah. Because, you know, I mean, going into like what you were, okay, so you saw a different side of marriage, right? I went through like my parents together. I've only seen them fight once to where they almost broke up. Everything was about God, like religion, like, oh, my mom was very loyal and like this and that. So about being a good Christian wife and this and that. For me, so my view on it is a little different, where like I was brainwashed into coming into this marriage thinking of one thing, thinking of like, oh, it's going to be like that. Interesting. And my wife is the opposite of what my parents said, that this is what's going to happen when you marry. Like, it's like my parents said, oh, the wife is going to marry into your family. Basically, she's going to like leave her family and be with us, and that's a very archaic, old school way of thinking, right? Yeah. But that was the way they taught me, and her family is very strong. Her mom's side especially is really strong, and their family does like family trips. They're very super close, and it was very rare for me to see that because in my parent, like, oh, my mom's side I'm not close with. My dad's side we're very like, you know, as we got older, we're not as much, not as much, but we were very close.
Yeah.
So, but I see that closeness on her mom's side, and then for me, I'm the one that married into her family.
Oh.
So like all these things that I didn't get from my family, I'm getting from her family. These family trips that I've wanted to be a part of, like having I guess, like I'm emo boo, like I'm boo boo. They call me boo. The kids call me boo.
I love that. I love that.
Because they call her Momo. She's emo, but like they couldn't say it. The first one couldn't say emo, so she called her Momo, and then it just stuck with that's her nickname. That's Momo is her, and then because she's Momo and they love her so much, the youngest one couldn't say emo boo, so he called me boo boo.
I love that.
So then they adopted that, and then it's like that's such a sweet thing that I didn't get right from my parents. So it's like when you went in when you went into your marriage, was it a little bit different from what you thought or you had pictured it, versus like what you went through? Because it was completely different.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my family wasn't here. Everybody, my dad's in Ohio, my sisters are in South Carolina, my brother was in Japan. He just moved to Germany, and then my mom is in Koreatown, but we've had such a like volatile relationship, and it's become better now because of the baby. But in my head, I've just been like kind of solo dolo, but I come from like a family where when we go visit my sister in South Carolina and we're all together, it's like very like cookie cutter family. Like we hang out, we're like joking, we like have coffee in the morning, like it's very like loving and like beautiful. But I don't have that here, and I've been here for 20 years. And so on past relationships in my boyfriends' families or, you know, situations, like they're not always talking to me or engaging with me. So I'm just kind of used to it. I'm just kind of used to being someone who knows how to like work with the situation and make it as best as it can be. But in this situation with my husband, his parents, his dad and mom always ask me how I'm doing, how is work going, like, you know, how's my family, and they're always doing stuff together. Like they like to go fishing and they like to go places, and it made me feel happy too, because it's like I miss that.
Yeah.
I have that with my family, but I don't expect much from anybody's family. Like
everyone's just comfortable. Like your family, we're comfortable. The family's comfortable.
Yeah, it's so comfortable. It's like how it's supposed to be, though. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be that way.
But I don't think so, because my family's comfortable. When we go have that family trip, we'll just eat, do it, and then we'll all go in our rooms and on our phones.
Yeah.
Whereas with like Vero's family, like let's hang out in the patio, and they're like, we're just sitting 8 hours just talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like.
So I'm used to that comfortable.
Yeah.
So for me, my perspective I'm projecting is like that comfortable, where it's like we're all together and we're like, just being mischievous and having fun together. Yeah. So I'm not used to the like hang out and then like isolate type of thing. That's
a Korean side. The American side, your white side is.
Yeah, but I didn't have that because my mom's family's in Korea. Yeah. I had just reunited with them like 2020 during COVID. So last time I saw them was 4 years old. So I don't really have the I haven't been exposed to the Korean culture in terms of family aspect, but I've been like totally immersed into the white culture,
Do you get along with DBD's family?
Yeah, so they're amazing, and he has a sister who's a year older than me, so it's his younger sister, so he like loves her, and then she's so good to me, and it just makes me feel happy.
She's younger than him. So is he? Are you age?
They're
Are you older than her?
4 years apart, and then I'm 1 year apart from her.
Older or younger?
I'm younger than her by a year. Yeah.
So
but
it's like
nice.
a neat thing, like
But we don't treat. It's not like that. Like,
but you know the Korean culture, because I'm sure you
supposed to
like.
Be, yeah. But that's where my white side kicks in, because I don't really know how to be like, hi, 언니, like.
But no, what I mean is, you might not say it, but I feel like the way you treat it is like the like.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of respect for her, for sure. I do.
That's important. That's important that you guys, because I get along with my my wife's family. I actually like hanging out with them more than I do with my own family.
That's interesting though, because like you never know how it's gonna sway.
Yeah.
Like in marriages, you never know. It could be, it's just straight isolation. You're just like, okay, we see them when we see them. If we have kids, then like we'll deal with it. We'll figure it out. But that's good that you have a comfortability in your.
Well, they're so close, and then like I put them at a priority over my own family, only because my family doesn't put a priority to hanging out.
Okay.
So then, like,
Sense.
recently, last Christmas, my mom finally, or like in the middle of the year, like it was like September, she was like, we should go on a family trip. Because we do a family trip for her family every year at the end of the year.
So do you think that has
Oh,
to
yeah.
do
That
with it?
triggered that my parents, my mom,
Oh.
and which is funny because we've never done this. And I feel like that jealousy of my mom, like, because what they said was, you were supposed to come to our house first.
Yes.
And
That's
I'm
so
like,
Korean.
yeah, that's very
it's so
Korean.
Korean. It's so interesting.
And
yeah.
I'm like, well, they have been doing this for 20 years. What do you want me to do? Like, have her not go to that and then go to our house so we can not talk to each other and just be on our phones like the whole time?
But they need that context though.
Yeah.
Because they need to understand why, like, you're, despondent from that.
Oh, for sure. And that's the reason why, like, she's brought a culture to my family that we don't have, where we like in the middle of the year, like, we're like, hey, where should we go this year? And it's like, oh, we should go to Hawaii, or we should go, so it's like cool. And I appreciate that. So it's like really cool that, like, my wife was able to bring that out of my family, but it's like, oh man, I'm so thankful because she compared to her family, my family is so, like, rough. I don't know, like, rough around the edges. We don't do things for just to do it for each other. Like, it's more of like, what are you going to do for me? And it's a very
survival mode.
It
That's
is.
what it sounds
It
like.
is.
Yeah. It's like it seems like there's a lack of, like, empathy in a sense. And it's because maybe the communication hasn't hit, like, a space where everyone's comfortable. But what's good is, like, your wife Vera's, like, beautiful in the sense that she can just be herself, and her family can do what she's doing or what they're doing.
Whole family's DGAF.
But what does that mean?
DGAF.
DGAF. Okay, got it.
Hey, we're not that old.
I don't know. I don't know what that meant. I was like, is that like a pastor thing? I don't know. Because I don't know Korean stuff. You never know.
You never know.
But like at the end of the day, it's like they're kind of triggering you guys. But I think that's a good thing because sometimes you don't know something can be better until you have something to compare it to. And unfortunately, it's like that. But that's also a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think, as you're getting older, these things are actually more important. So if they're willing to step out of their comfort zone and, like, I want to go on trips, that's a great segue.
Oh, dude, we went to Vegas.
Okay.
And my parents are pastors. And they were like, let's go to Vegas. They wanted to watch Magic. I was like, Magic's the tool of the devil, right, Dad?
Wait, Magic or Magic Mike?
No,
Okay.
Magic. Oh my God, that would have been interesting. That would have been so
Your
interesting.
mom's like,
it's like.
Vera's just like, I'm not sure how to feel, but
oh no, Vera would have been on this. Like, oh, she will. But we went to David Copperfield. I mean, it's old school, but it's magic. And I was like,
hey, David's good.
But the thing is that we went into Sin City, and we went to a magic show.
Wait, who proposed Sin City?
My dad. My dad and my mom. They were like,
amazing.
and it's funny because they weren't even thinking about the Vegas part of it.
Yeah.
They were just like, we need to take them to David Copperfield because they were blown away. And I'll admit, like, it was a good show. It was a good show considering that he's, like, freaking old and it's.
But he's good. And
he's been doing the same show for the.
If you haven't seen it, then it's mind blowing.
Yeah, and any magic is great.
Yeah,
so it was just one of those, like, I see this change in them because they and she's, like, brought an element to my family that it's like I try, like, really hard with them. Like they're very show love through service.
Oh, acts of service.
Yeah, acts of service.
Okay.
Axe,
I was like,
axe body spray. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, are you asking a question?
I'm asking a question. Yeah. So yeah, they were. What am I? You're asking a question. Okay,
Sorry,
shit.
that was an insert of my wife.
Okay, so what was I saying? Shit.
Your family.
Yeah, we went to the magic show, and then we went to Vegas. So they're she's bringing a cool culture to my family.
Yeah.
And so her family is a acts of service, right?
Okay.
So acts of service, I always got to be on point, but it's kind of like bled into my real life.
Good.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah, because the thing is like in family, dynamics need to switch up. Intentions need to switch up. Because what's not working for you will stimulate. If you do something new, invokes different kind of reactions, different kind of results, right? You guys are kind of like in a stalemate where it's like, have done it, been there, but like, how do you keep it interesting? And so, having a wife and someone where their family's so versatile and doing different things, I think it's actually cool that they admit that they want to do stuff. Like they're like, and then they're the ones proposing like, okay, Vegas, and then see what's next. But I think because our parents were getting older, they're getting older, they realized they didn't, they spent so much time surviving and hustling and trying to take care of us. And I think it's actually really endearing to see that like your parents are the ones that want to spend time, that want to do things, because there's many parents right now where they're like, I don't care, I'm comfortable, I don't need to change anything, nothing needs to shift. So I think that's a cool experience for you guys to have on this next chapter of your guys' journey of your guys' family. And it's cool that you can bring that.
What's funny is that when I look at you and I look at my wife, very similar in terms of big dick energy.
Yeah,
right?
I got that BD.
Right, BD.
Girl,
right, so it's like,
cheers to you, baby.
So my thing is, my question is, but here's the thing: you're very sensitive too. You're very in tune. I've witnessed it, like after a few the episodes. Not like you're like crying or anything, but I've seen how thoughtful you are in your daily life. That you probably do a lot of self-reflecting at the end of the day, which I do a lot of that too. You being an alpha woman. But you did say like it comes out more when you're drinking, but I feel like you just do have a strong personality, but you're also sensitive. Like, is DPD have that same personality, or is he more of a? He looks like more of a calming guy. Like if you start yelling at him, he'll be like, "Hey, like I don't know if his voice gets to an octave of yelling at."
Yeah, no. I definitely am the more spicier girlfriend, wife he's ever had in his life. He is, the reason why we work is because he's even keel. You can't be with two spicy Koreans, and that's why before I met Daniel, I said I am off of Koreans.
Me too. When I met Vero, I was like, F Korean, give me a Mexican girl.
Yeah,
like, Veronica.
I just realized I was trying to go for a hot book, so I was like, maybe the reason why it's not working is because I don't have someone who's emotionally relatable to me and understands like why I am the reason why I am the way that I am, right? So I thought maybe that might help, build the relationship stronger. But then
I did notice that you did have a streak of like hot.
I was going through my hot guys. Yeah, I had, and then I was dating a white guy. Like I was trying to get out because my last he was Taiwanese, and then I've dated all different kinds of Asians. And then when I was younger, I had no Asians, so it was like black Korean, black, white. Like I dated all different, all races.
Mexican, Filipino.
A Mexican, Filipino. I dated everything. But with Daniel, he's not. I think that's why we work, is because I'm so used. I grew up in a lot of like. It's a very volatile household, and being a military child, there's a lot of boundaries that always get crossed, and there's a threshold that always gets ripped open, and like you just have to deal with it. There's an intensity there, so I'm used to like tough love. I'm used to like crying and like.
But do you give tough love?
So that's who I was, and then once I got with Daniel, I realized that I realized I fight to have him show me how far he'll go to prove to me how much he loves me, and then I realized how toxic that was, and that registered very heavily for me, and that's why I self-reflect so much, because I have to every day. It's not like you just stop. You have to like every day you have to keep being better. If it wasn't for him, he kind of saved my life in a way, because I feel like I am a very caring, loving, and sensitive person. But if no one knows how to break down my walls, it's like chaos. Oh yeah, you become, right? Yeah. It's like you got two sides of me where it's like very loving and endearing, but then you have the other side that's like, I will slit your throat. Like I will, you know what I mean? But
I'm trying to figure that out with my wife, and I am slowly. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But it's so interesting, because when you finally love someone, that's when you work on yourself, and that's when the change really shifts. And so he really gave that to me, and he would be like, I never fought with anyone the way that I fight with you. And I'm like, well, that's why you're with me, because we're communicating. But to listen to what he's saying, I'm like, that's not fair for me to shit on him and like unload all of my trauma on him. And so what I would try to do is just like pinpoint what it is, and it'd be like, it's alcohol that gets me to that place that's like really harsh and I'm really mean. Or it's like, I don't know how to vocalize how I really feel, so I use other terms to cut someone down or whatever to make myself feel better. So that's why I do my best to keep self-reflecting, and I do feel like I'm very intuitive. I feel like I have gifts.
You are. A little too much, or like a little, and you're a little hard on yourself too.
And that's natural because of the imposter syndrome. Yeah. But With him, we found a great balance. Like, we're going on 8 years, so it's like we found a great balance where it's like I'm not perfect and he knows that, and he gives me a lot of like leeway. Like, if I drink too much and then I get really aggressive and angry, a lot of it has nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
It's just
how does he like talk you? How does he do the?
In the beginning,
the sun's coming down, big fella.
Yeah.
Like, how does he talk you down?
In the beginning, he didn't get it, so he would like fight back, and then he would like fight fire with fire, and then it would just explode. And like, I don't know how to back down because I've been on my own
Korean
since
side.
I was like 16 too. But Korean, it's like there's so many reasons why the formula's bad. But then after a while, I realized, you wake up and your partner's so upset, and you're like, you don't remember, like that you did so much damage, and you're like, groundhog, or like,
50 first dates.
Yeah,
I literally, my wife is 50 first dates.
Yeah, but that's not fair. And my thing is like, if I'm gonna be in a marriage or relationship with someone, I have to work on not even accidentally or purposely abusing them, right? Like, they're not our punching bag. They're our partner, right? So that was like a huge thing for me in our relationship, was like, no one should be the punching bag to all of my issues that I'm the one who's not confronting. Yeah. I'm not the one confronting it, right? So yeah, he would in the beginning fight fire with fire. So we had some like explosive, really like fights, and then over time he realized I'm the type of person where I just have to like word vomit and get it all out, and then after that I become soft. Like, it's kind of like a release thing.
Yeah. Most things come soft after.
And then because it's like, why are we angry? It's because we're sad. Right? It's true. Yeah, it's a release thing. Yeah. But a little slow here, but yeah. But after now, it's like if I were to like over drink or like be too emotional, he already knows how to shut down, where he's like, she just has to like throw it all up and say how she feels, and then after that she's gonna be fine, and then go lay down and like nothing's wrong, or she'll be okay. So it's kind of like learning how to just process and being there for each other, because like all of us have flaws. There's something wrong with everyone, and it's like, what I love about our relationship is, my problem is sometimes when I drink, it's like I do get aggressive, and I do finally share how I feel because I'm so passive aggressive, and like I hold it all in because I think about people's feelings. Then when I'm drunk, I'm like, I don't care, and I'm like, I just say how I feel because I don't care at that moment, right? And then after that, I'm like, okay, I need to be better. I need to fix it. So
that's great.
Having that, like, I think what I would like to say to a lot of my friends out there, because there's a lot of people out there that are not dating or they can't keep a long relationship. You really grow when you find love for someone else, because when you really covet somebody, you don't want to ruin that, and you don't want to shit on someone so badly that they leave you because of that, know? So I think most people, in my perspective, they should just be open and keep trying, because you never know, like, when a person is willing to accept your flaws. Daniel, literally, because he used to drink a lot and black out and things like that, and he doesn't remember everything, and he says stupid shit when he's fucked up. I feel like a huge saving grace to our relationship is like, when I do fucked up shit, he forgives me because he's similar to that. And that was a saving grace for me, because I'm like, most people, they blame you, and then that's the end of the relationship.
Well, this means like, because I would not, I mean, honest, like, I learned this to stop. Yeah, like, learning. I don't do it anymore. Like, in the beginning, my relationship with her. So,
how was that like, though? How did you guys go from?
Oh, she was a very old school Korean, like, oppa, like, she was very like submissive when we were dating, and then right when, so I always say this, like, women are like Pokemon, right?
Okay.
Women are like Pokemon.
Interesting.
And when you get you get your Pokemon, and it's like the Charmander, right? It's like, okay, Charmander is so cute. It's like, yeah, not really that harmful. It burns you a little bit, and you're like, and then you start dating, and you get into a serious relationship, 2-3 years, and then they evolve to the Charmeleon, right? And then they're a little bit more feisty, but still cute, still like, still fights for you, fights with you, and I feel like when you go into marriage, they evolve to like Charizard, right?
Oh,
so it's
my God.
I got it, thanks. So they go into Charizard, and they're just like And now I have a Charizard. Like, I'm just like, I feel like Ash. Like, I'm just like, hey, Charizard. Hey, what's up? Like, okay, you want to, no, you don't want to? Okay, you know, don't worry about it.
You don't need this?
Take it,
We're
you
good.
know? And,
We're good.
And I didn't realize that that's the evolution. Like, I need to evolve with it. And with Vero, she's very spicy. But now I learned, like, it's like, yes, dear, it goes long ways.
It does.
You know? And before it would be like the way she said it. Sometimes I'm like, I don't like that. And I would say, and then she's like, we'd go back and forth, and we start fighting about stuff. And I'm like, why are we even fighting? Like, I wouldn't even remember why we're fighting.
Yeah.
So, and you know, now we're getting better, and you know, and that's the thing. When we were dating, I don't think that we think that we were as compatible as we were.
Yeah.
As we thought we were.
Yeah.
And once we got married, we realized, oh shoot, we're so different.
Yeah.
But as our marriage goes, and then as we see also like everything around us and the way that even our single friends aren't happy, it's like it just gives us more motivation and more like, yeah, we got to work on it. As a man, we have to work on ourselves all the time. Like we're being told this all the time in our lives. And so like it was easy for me. You know, Vero, it's a little bit more, she's really independent, and she's really just like I can't say, hey, you can't. Like that's a very no. I try to avoid those words. Yeah. And that's how. But before I'm like, so you like why can't I say that? You should like not take it offense. But now I'm like, hey, maybe I shouldn't say that because nobody likes hearing you can't do something, right? Yeah. So like now, what you know, for me, it's like we weren't even with her. She was in personality wise, she wasn't fully my type. I started dating her because I was like. I thought she was really cute because she does have the attributes of love. Yeah, some wish word of the day, word of the week. Yeah, so like
half sung.
Yeah, so like her like what was I saying now? The attributes. Attributes. Oh yeah, her cat. Yeah. So she has cat eyes.
Okay, cat eyes.
It goes up, right?
Okay.
And so
she does. You're right.
Yeah, yes. And it's funny like, and I realized I was like, I like high cheekbones. Okay. Cat eyes, like girls that look like bitches, right?
So but they're not bitch face.
Not resting bitch face, but like resting like
fierce.
Jedaba, like what? Yeah, but not fierce like this. It's just like nothing here, but just the eyes go.
Okay.
You know. Okay. And a lot of girls, even like you have that little line that like you know.
That's a
trick. That's a trick.
That's my white side.
You know, but and that's like my. I realized that's the draw that I like with. Most of the girls that I've dated, they have that feature or some similar of a cat face.
Okay, cat face.
Okay,
so this is new for me. I've never ever in my life,
never heard it?
In 38 years, someone ever told me I have like a cat face or like a dog face or.
Dog? I hope not dog face.
Or a like. But
cat,
there are
cat
faces.
Face.
Okay, what are
cat
they?
look, and bird look.
Okay, so what are we talking about here? Okay, so how did this even come about, and like where do we go with this?
Well, I'm bringing this up because I was, you know, Vero's personality was not my type, but looks was like what drew me in, right?
So that's your type is a cat face.
A cat, eyes that go up, kind of, you know, high cheekbones, bitchy, you know, like looking, you know. Yeah. Not too much makeup. I'm not a big makeup. If a girl has that look, but she has way too much makeup, I'm like I don't really look, but
okay, so you have standards.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, but you know what the bird,
like that laugh.
You know what the bird face is? Yeah, I wanted to give it because everybody here has such a great laugh. I needed my own laugh.
That was good. That needs to be a soundbite.
But there's the bird face too.
Okay, what is a bird face? Okay, who name a famous celebrity that has a bird face?
Uma Thurman.
Ooh, because of her beak.
No, her bird faces usually have like a.
It's a beak.
Her long nose. Longer nose.
It's a beak.
Yeah.
The nose is a beak.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. But it's like, you know, maybe a little.
It's not
bump.
toucan Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
not toucan.
It's long enough that it's not an Asian nose.
Yeah, not an Asian nose.
We're referring to Asians.
And then,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There you
go.
Wait,
a bunny. And a cat.
Bunny.
Oh, cat. I see. Okay, so like Vero has like.
So if out of the two, I like her more than this one.
Interesting. So you don't like the cutesy, you like the more vixen.
No, I like the vixen, and that's the problem though, because I'm like I realize the vixens are I want the vixen look, but the heart of gold, right? Which Vero has. Vero is the vixen look.
I like
heart of gold, but she's also.
I like you said that. Heart of
vixen
gold.
acting like not vixen, but like
She's got that BDE.
She knows how to like.
She's that BDE.
Oh yeah, she knows how to like. She'll swipe at me if she needs to.
Yeah.
And that's so that's. And there's a lot of girls that I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, oh man, you're pretty, you're attractive, but why was I never attracted to you? And it's the bird look. It's like the bird look. You don't have it either.
Thank God, thank you.
Yeah, maybe you might be more bunny or something, but you're not you don't have the bird look.
Okay.
Like who else could I think of that has? Let's say so the cat look, I would say like Cardi B.
Cardi B, can you pull that up? Never thought Cardi B looked like a cat. Wow, this is very interesting.
I could be wrong, but
you're attracted to Cardi B. What about
a little bit? I don't know why.
Is it because but you like baddies? That's what it is.
Maybe what it.
Do you think you're confused?
Also, what I like about Cardi B is that she's just unapologetically her.
A baddie. Yeah.
Is that what
That's what Vero is. That's why she just doesn't give a shit. Like no fucks given.
But. Okay.
But okay, look, Cardi was a stripper. She's very like sexual. So that doesn't stop you from finding her attractive.
What's funny is that I don't think her body or her face or like anything is attractive.
Okay,
but everything, Cardi B as a whole,
representation
is
of
attractive
her
to me.
Energy.
Yeah, her energy, her jokes, the way she's like, like she just.
You like raw and like self-deprecating, like who they are. Like,
sure.
You just like.
Vero is like that. She's very comfortable with herself. She doesn't care. Like she's not even when I first danced for her, she straight up stopped me. Like all her friends. I love
how he said when I first danced for her, like he's Magic Mike.
No, yeah. We went to. We went to a club.
I imagine you like doing a gyration with
Dude, we went to a club and I started doing some stuff for her. Her friends wanted me to dance, and then
you were in a club and you gyrated on her.
Not gyrated on her, but I was just like freestyling.
Okay.
She literally stopped me and she's like, "Babe, no one gives a shit."
And then, how did that make you feel?
Horny. I felt stupid, but I was like, horny? You're right. Like, yeah, you're right.
But did that make you want to like get on her more?
No. Actually, we were already together at this point. But my thing is like, I was like, you're right, because I feel like that.
Okay.
That's when people are like freestyle. I'm like, I'll do it, but I'm like, really, no one gives a shit. Like,
so she kind of like gave you the sense.
She is humbling me. She humbles me a lot.
She kind of gave you space though, where it's like it's okay that nobody does care, but if you want to do it, that's okay.
No. Oh yeah. But no more so like, hey, don't do it. No one gives a shit. You're looking stupid right now. And that's why I stopped dancing. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm totally kidding on that. I still dance in the bathroom by myself. But no, she's the type, like, she's the type to be raw. And yeah, I like that. But even for me, like, it's still really tough to have that. I like that when it's not me.
Yeah.
When I'm not the recipient of that, I love it. But so when I am
more balanced, you like a little bit more. So I mean, that's a conversation.
Are you guys balanced? Like you say you are, right?
I feel like I think about things. I overly think about things. So like I care about chemistry, and I mean, I'm not perfect by all means.
I'm the sensitive one out of the two.
Oh, okay. So that's different. I'm the sensitive one. He's like work. Like he's just so hell bent and focused. I'm the one who has to be like, let's take it back and like focus. But he does have his moments where he's like, hey, we need to connect, and like weekends are important, so it's like good. But
can I ask you this? And this is gonna be kind of raw.
Yeah, raw.
After babies, sex life.
Yeah. So I told you we did therapy. So before we did therapy, I mean, I'm like one of the last Mohicans to have babies out of all my friends, and I listen to everyone. I have a consensus of like how it all works. And a lot of my girlfriends don't have sex 9 months, 1 year, 2 years after the baby. And that fucked me up because I love my husband and I know they do too, but I also know he has a penis and I need to like satisfy that penis.
We have needs. Men have needs that it's just it's so easy. You do that and we'll be like taking out the trash, like,
and that solves a lot of issues. And so for me, I was like very cognizant towards the fact that once we have a baby, I put it in the calendar because I had a C-section, so we can't do it immediately. Well, even if I had done it vaginally, I wouldn't want to.
Probably sooner with the C-section, but
yeah. So it was like 10 weeks. So I put it in the calendar. So I made sure, and I talked about it through the therapy, that like I want to make sure that like I didn't have a baby to have a baby. I had a baby to have a baby with you. Like that's how, and it's very important that we stay always on the same page, that this is our journey together and our children are part of our journey, and like they're our focus, but we have to focus on ourselves. So I put in the calendar, literally.
So you guys have like a, you have to schedule
just
it
like how we have our podcast.
Yeah.
I Google, I Gmailed that, you know, I put it on there.
Don't ever mix those Gmails up.
So
by
Daniel,
the way. Please, okay?
DPD,
like we don't want to see.
DPD's like, was it on the group transparent calendar? I was like, no, I put it on your private email. He's like, he didn't even think about it till later. He goes, it says
we'll just text him
it
on
literally
that day
says
with the eye emoji.
It literally, yeah. And he's like, I was like, it's coming up.
That's great, dude. I you know, but was it? But of course he's like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be. You know,
but I will say he's a groomer, so I appreciate that. Cause like most guys that don't, that's he always says that to me when I go like I try to give myself props. He goes, well, I wouldn't be with you if you didn't do that. You know what I mean? But that's why I like him too, is because he's considerate. Those are the things that are important to me. Grooming is very important. I'm not like trying to get in there and like bushwhack. Dude, I'm tired. Like my nipples are leaking. Like make it easy for me to like have a good time.
At this time, who is still rolling like with 70s bush as a guy?
No,
like it's just proven. Even it just looks, the angles look better when you
I
shave,
think
you know,
people
like,
that are just inconsiderate. But if you really want like a good time and you want it to keep going, it keeps rolling on to more good times. You take care of yourself.
Yeah, and it looks better too. You're like, oh, the angles, it's like nicer. Illusions, you know. Yeah. It's like, you don't want to be a hen in the bush, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, but I do believe that it just sucks. And I kept thinking about like, I had a conversation recently where I asked an oppa, like, I went out finally on one night, and I was like, I asked a question. I was like, why did you get a divorce? And it was really weird. Contextually, but it's because someone I respect. We don't really even
Stop having sex.
Well, like I just respected him so much, so I needed a guy's perspective, because I feel like I've been with my husband every single day. I need a guy's perspective that's not his like closest friend to give me something that's unbiased, and like I needed context. I needed like another way of thinking, because I feel like I need to give him more, and I don't know how to get that. So I was trying to like retrieve something that will like help with that. So I asked an oppa, like, you know, why did you get a divorce? And then at the end, he's like shocked. He's like, no one really asked me that question. And then he went into it and he's like, you know, what are you doing for him? And then, like I said, I have mom brain. I'm fucking tired. This is the first time I go out. I don't see people. I'm like at the lowest of lows. And I'm like, well, I think like, you know, when he comes home from work, like I'll give him a massage. You know, I cook his favorite foods.
Hey.
But he goes, wow, Jess. That's amazing. That's some basic bitch shit. And I was like, and other people, they would probably be really offended, but I told you, I asked these questions because I want to grow, and like I want hit me hard, you know. And I was like, okay, what is it that I should be doing, you know, seriously? And he goes, only you know that, only you could know that, you know. It's good that you're asking, but you have to pull from within to figure that out. And I was like, damn, like, nobody wants to hear that. This is like some Obi-Wan Kenobi shit. You know, I was like, I need an answer. Like, I don't need to, like, search within because I don't have time.
I would be like, you do this, you do this, you
right?
do that.
That's how I am. But I also appreciated that, because if you love someone, you do have to take the time to sort through it and, like, really, like, balance it all out and figure out, like, what am I doing? And then at the end of the conversation, he's just like, you have to make that effort. You have to propose it. You have to do something more. So, you know, that night I was drunk. I was hungover the next day, so it wasn't that night. So the next day, I sat him down, and he was like sitting straight watching TV, and then I was sitting like looking at him. And then I was like, hey, it was before we were going to Paris, and we were going on our first vacation since we had a baby. I was gonna, you know, we're leaving the baby. I'm like, you know, 6 months in of postpartum. And I sat him down, and he's just watching TV, and I was like, hey, like, when we get back from Paris, how about on the weekends, because that's the time that we have, like, we do something that fills your cup up. Like, whatever it is that you want to do, or, you know, whatever it is that you need, like, let's just focus on you, and, like, let's do it as a family. And he was like this, looking, and he goes, and he...
Yeah, he's like slowly, like...
He's like this, and he goes... And he's like, what?
Yeah.
And then that made me feel sad, to be honest. Because I'm like, I'm a bad wife. Because, like, this conversation should have happened. And I go, you know what? Since the pregnancy, since having the baby, being 6-7 months postpartum, everything's been about me and like how I feel. I had appendicitis, or I had appendix surgery. Like there was just so much chaos, and a lot of it's focused on the mom. I said, so much of what happened has been about the mom, and then you're such a good dad. You provide so well. You love our daughter. You love me so well. Let's get back to filling your cup up, because it can't just be all about me. And I'm like, and I'm sorry that I haven't been able to fulfill your cup. I'm just breathing for air now, and I'm realizing like it's time for you. And I was like, so what can we do? And he literally looked at me and goes, this is it. He's like, just by having the conversation,
we're simple.
Yeah, and just by giving me the weekends, and just by like having my back, and it made me just feel so bad, like.
No, but you did it because some people don't even do that at all.
And so, and I fine, I can give myself like love for that, but I have so many friends and girlfriends and people in my life where it's like, they're still in marriages that they don't do that. They don't.
We need to get you out there. We need to get you on the road, speaking to the masses over here.
But it just made me sad because it's like, wow, the way he jerked and looked at me and was like so engaged into my response, it made me just feel like it's so important to fill your partner's cup up, female or male. It doesn't matter. It's just about being seen, being acknowledged, and like how far that can go. And it's like, even after that, it's like sex is better, love is better. It's easier to be more affectionate, be more emotional, being more intuitive towards each other. And so, by all means, we're not perfect, but that's where I'm at in our relationship, where I'm trying to give back. And I have my days, like I can't walk the dog because I'm just so tired, and I need him to come home, even though he had like a 12-hour day. Like, it's a, give and take situation, but you have to make your partner feel seen. And like, I feel like in pregnancies and babies, like the husband's always berated for that. So it's good to make sure that the husband is like loved and taken care of and coveted back, so.
Yeah, for sure. Like, so you're saying like 3 times a week?
Yeah.
No,
that's beautiful. As long as he landscapes, and then there's possibilities.
Honestly, like that's a great thing for like I don't know how many married women listen to our podcast, but I'm hoping more and more. But it gives perspective, because it's like I do see that even with my wife too. Like she's now starting to like do the same thing, where it's like, I'm like, I'm not a horn dog, you know what I mean? Like, It's not like, but it's like... That's
a big deal. Yeah. We're getting older, and like, you guys are way less horn dogs.
Yeah, but it's not even that, but it's just also, it's like, I act like a horn dog because it's like any minute, so she's like, hey, we should, what? We should what? And then she's like, we should go get ice cream. I'm like, oh... Yeah, we should totally get ice cream, but should we?
After?
Yeah, and I do the eyebrow thing, and she's like, no, babe, ice cream.
Oh my God, that's universal.
Yeah,
why do all husbands do that?
No, dude, it's the when you say the word walk or treat, and it's just like, oh, treat, what, yeah, and it's just like, that's how simple we are, so it's like,
I can see that. I get that more now, that it's not that you guys are simple, like they're simple. It's that you guys keep it simple because we can be so overly complicated. So it's like the balance of life. And we both have to appreciate each other for what we bring to the table and honor each other in that.
Yeah. And I think also it's just one of those things how simple we are, where it's like, if everything that, like, for example, like with guys, I feel like if you just make us feel like appreciated and wanted and loved, like that's how simple. Easy from just hey big boy, like slap us on the butt a little bit, or like this was I feel like wives do this a lot. Ooh, when you get home tonight, and then when they get home, they're like, hey, I'm tired. That's and
that's
I
universal.
Feel like it's universal,
it happens,
right?
Yes.
So it's like one of those. It's those times where it's like that feeling of greatness in the morning. It feels great. You gotta follow up on it, ladies. Follow up on it, and
we have to be better with that.
Yeah, just like us, you're like, hey, can you fix the sink when you get home?
And they never. Yeah.
And then we come home, and if we don't fix the sink, you're gonna be like, what the hell, this mother freaker?
True.
Like,
that's perspective.
And so like, and I've my wife and I, she's not we're both not very like sexual horn dog people. Even right now, we're kind of going back into that dating mode where we're like dating each other.
I love that. And you guys have been married for how long?
We've been married for 5 years now.
So I love that.
8.
So you're touching on like how their cycles.
Oh yeah, I'm trying touching.
But also
her.
too, females too, because naturally men are more inclined. But for the female to be on it, that means she still loves you and she's in tuned with like your needs, but she's still turned on by you. I think
it's me saying basically she's turned on by me being the man, but like she's like, hey, can you do this? Okay, yeah, I got you, and I don't, because I used to be like. In my mind, I'm like, hey, that makes no sense. This is more efficient.
You're just trying to logically
now I just do it,
yeah.
and then she's happier that way, you know? Even though it's not as efficient as it could be.
No.
That's the way she wants to do it.
What we need is for you guys to dumb it down and just, like, support us. That turns us on. When you guys are like, yeah, we need it, you guys give it.
Yeah.
And then what we need to do is just keep... Okay, this is a big thing that I learned about men. This is really hard for strong women personalities. Mm-hmm. I'll do it myself. But that doesn't work for relationships because then what are you guys going to do? So this was a big, big, big learning curve for me. For women that are strong out there and for men that have strong women, to explain is letting your person know to give that person purpose is what makes a man feel whole. Yes. So I can screw my own light or, twist my own light bulbs. I could probably plaster my own wall. I can do my own tire, all that. It's not about that. It's to be like, Daniel, Ryan, like, I need you to do this. And then guys love that shit. Yeah. But I didn't know that. I always feel like I have to fight for my independence because women never have a seat at the table. Women are looked down on. We never look like we're capable.
Have you ever done this? Oh, if you're not going to do it, I'll just do it myself.
So that's
have you ever said that?
So normal for our reaction, right? That's normal because that's a defense mechanism to protect ourselves because if you don't do it, then we're not feeling like...
But that's a double-edged story.
We're
angry about it,
we're
and
wrong.
You're also not... We're not giving you the security.
We're wrong. So that's what the defense mechanism isn't a correct way of handling it, right? So my point is, like, strong women out there need to realize, like, you need to let your walls down and allow people to do things for you. And the moment I realized, once I started being like, Daniel, like, do this, do that, da-da-da. And it's like simple, stupid shit that, like, I normally do. Then I started realizing, like, wow, how nice is it to have someone who I make them feel so important to do the little things that, like, that kind of takes shit off my fucking to-do list anyways, right? Like, let him feel like he has purpose and he's doing things for me, and then that brings like this affection, like gentleness, and like it makes it more sensual when we like kiss. We're
a very positive reinforcement kind of people.
It is. It's men are such positive reinforcement.
We need it.
It's so wild. No, but as a strong individual that's like women's rights and like I have to be a feminine, like I have to fight for these things because not all men are good men where they see women in that sense. And the reason why you picked a strong woman is because you do see us in that sense. Yeah. But we need to like let down our guard.
I think it's more the eyes, but no, I'm just kidding. But yes, I do like that about women.
But we need to let back our guard and chill the hell out and stop being so a personality and like let the guy freaking wash the Brussels sprouts and chop it up while you end up, Well,
let him chop it up horizontally and not something.
But the point is like none of that matters. The point is like he feels like he contributed and he feels so happy. It's like a puppy. But we are like so used to just like we have to prove it to ourselves because it's about an identity issue of like where we like stand, sex wise, like career wise, like wherever it is. And I learned with my husband now, like let him do all the things that he wants to do or whatever makes him feel better. And then I do those things for him. And then it creates such a harmonious, like, but you know what it is? It makes us more lovey-dovey. It breaks down the barrier of like, I got this. You know what I mean? Like both sides. And then all of a sudden it's like when you first started dating, those like sensual makeout sessions and you're just like a lot of tongue and like you don't even think about the time. That's kind of where it brings the energy back to.
Yeah. Dating each other again.
And it's like that's kind of like where you have to start finding yourself, trailing yourself back to that in a relationship, in a marriage. I think that's the key thing is like letting your partner feel seen, wanted, needed. And then for us, it's like being heard, being understood, not being told what to do, allowing us to have a free mind. It's like when you find that balance, then like sex is still good 8 years later,
Yeah.
10 years later, 20 years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, what Vero has been doing recently is that, like, before we'd be like, I come home from work and then she's working, so we're like, hey, let's cook food together. And then if she makes the food, I'll like wash dishes. And this is what I do too. When I cook the food, I wash dishes. Like, I just wash dishes.
Wow,
all the time.
you cook the food and you wash the
Yeah,
dishes?
and then this is the thing. And that's why, because dishes were a big part of our fighting, like in the beginning. So like, but now recently, what she does is, I'll come home because I've been working like a lot more,
Yeah.
and then she's not working right now. Instead of like, there are days where I come home and she's like on her phone, and I'm like, oh, it's dinner, and she's like, oh, what do you want? Like, do you want, like, you know, and she's just throwing anything out, right? And I'm just kind of like, I'm not really happy about it.
Yeah,
right?
because
But-
you're like,
It doesn't feel like our hearts.
yeah, but then like the
Yeah.
way, the days that she's like, I come home, she's like, oh yeah, sit down. Like, do you want to smoke a bowl? Like, yeah, smoke a bowl. Like, and she goes and cooks, and I'm like, do you need help? She's like, no, you're good. Like, those are the days I'm like eating, and I'm like, God, I'm a piece of shit. I'm like, I need to work harder
Be
to
better, yeah.
I
be
love
better,
that.
and then I'll clean up and I'll wash dishes and like things like that. So it's like, but she doesn't realize like that of her
Gesture.
making me
Yeah,
feel
the
like
gesture.
a man, right?
it
Like,
goes such a long
like,
way.
so thank you for working. Oh, here, like, don't take a load off.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me like, I need to work harder. I need to go out there and work harder because.
Did you guys listening to this? Like, so important, because this is why they say women are from Venus and men are from Mars. Because we never talk about this and how the threshold is, because it's literally something so simple, which is like being considerate and like just kind of preparing and being organic about it is what makes us feel like we owe them more, or we're not doing enough, right? And it goes both ways, both sexes,
Yeah.
you know? So I love that, because I think sometimes women are like, I do so much. And what I learned with Daniel is I'm like for me, it's like, I did the laundry, I did this, I did it up. But all those things, it's just like a job.
You're supposed to do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're supposed to do it. But it's like what my opus says, like, what are you doing for him, right? And when you feel like she didn't have to be considerate to be like, do you want to smoke a bowl?
Yeah.
Do you want, would you like me to like brine, like I already brine chicken, but is
Oh
that
no,
what
she's
you
very
want?
like,
But-
like
but
almost
that
serving
kind of,
me like.
yeah, because it's acts of
Yeah.
service, right? But it's those little things that people don't realize. Like, they're always like, I have to get a gift, or I have to, do this grand gesture. But it's not. It's like literally just like, I only have like air fried blah blah blah, but I have a sauce that I have that I think you're gonna really like. So then they're like, oh, I'm excited to have the sauce. It's literally the little things to make the person feel seen and acknowledged and loved for. That's what goes
That's
a long way
important.
on both sexes, though, Yeah, it's the just because.
Yeah.
So basically, the just because is like what fulfills. That's what actually determines a long-term marriage relationship, because when you do things just because, it just shows they're on your mind and
Yeah.
you really love them, and that's where like relationships falter, because after 3 years, 6 years, 10 years, like it goes into these stints. If you aren't growing together, you always fall apart. You know what I mean? So those just because is how you keep rekindling it and making sure like you're blowing on the fire and like keeping it going. Sorry.
I like how it was like a
No,
ball to
it was like a bong or
Ball
like
to-
a
yeah, I was like,
balls.
whoa, you're-
I don't know.
yeah.
It could be like,
It's
I
in the
don't know.
window, man.
In the window.
In the
out of
window.
context that could be used differently, you know?
Yeah. Let's
Sunglish word of the week. In the window.
I want to have a rainbow.
Yeah.
Sunglish word of the week.
Oh yeah.
The more
Dude,
you know.
Jess.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I thought this conversation was gonna be way more raunchier, but the fact that you have so much insight, and I wouldn't say validated like a lot of men out there, like to know that there are women that do think like you, that do
Yeah.
appreciate their men, and that's really all we need.
Yeah.
And this is why we needed a voice like you on the pod.
Yeah.
So it's like, even just us having one-on-one. This is our first. I mean, we've known each other for at least, I want to say 14 to 15
yeah,
years, right?
it's been that long.
And
yeah.
this is like our first like
Yeah,
one of
in
the other
depth.
in
Like
depth
heart to
stuff.
heart, like yeah.
And I'm learning so much about you, and even just through after the episodes that we've shot, and we've texted each other, and you've kind of given me your thoughts of things, and you're very aware of yourself, and you're very hard on yourself, first of all, which is, we should all be hard on ourselves, right? To kind of make you, we're
I
going to be
just don't
better.
want to be abusive. That's the problem. I come from being abused.
Yeah.
So it's very important to me to never inflict that on anyone. So I'm very conscious of that, and I'm hypersensitive towards it.
And that's hyper is it's very hypersensitive.
I'm very hypersensitive. Yeah.
So dude, like
But I appreciate that you appreciate it, and then you acknowledge me, and then you bring me back down. So I think that's what allows people to have better relationships. Most people be like, you're tripping, like relax, like you're too much. The word too much is so damning and like so hindering and like just so minimizing. It's terrible. Never tell someone they're too much, because it's like, don't ever tell anyone that. It's like, but when someone acknowledges you, it allows me to take a step back and then understand your perspective, so then I know how to gauge it, so it becomes a balance, more balanced. But when you're like, you could have easily been like, dude, you are like unnecessarily overthinking it, like just very much degrading me or minimizing me in ways where I'm just like, I'm sorry, I was just trying to think about you.
No, that's where I saw it, and that's where I was like, thank you. I see it where you're thinking of us, and that's where I was like, that's great that you bring that element of a voice where it's like, you're not just being like, oh, this is how it is, this is how it should be, or whatever. You're actually thinking about it because you're using your life experiences.
Yeah, the perspective is
different. So thank you for that. You know, like
thanks for
I think we're gonna have many more conversations like this, guys. You guys need to know that she is not just this sensitive side. She is the raunchy sailor that we all are on this podcast.
There is more to come. We were talking about relationships, and we thought we were gonna go into.
Oh, I was gonna go into like
licking of the butt, but no, just kidding.
It felt good. It was like.
It felt good. What felt good? The licking of the butt.
The licking of the butt, eating ass. But anyways.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have that conversation.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation.
We're gonna pin that one.
Pin that one on the board. Boop, right there.
Right in the
butt.
Right in the hole.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for stopping by. Peace.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You can find us on Conversations_pod at YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.